A very good afternoon, all of you. This is Dr. Ruchi, shirudkar, founder and director of an organization called as Pediatreat. I'm so excited to do this live after so long, and we are going to do a very interesting drug today, which we have not used very often, but I'm sure this is going to help you in your clinical practice a lot. First of all, I would like to tell you one important thing that I have observed in doctors nowadays. One big mistake that we all are doing nowadays is we are considering a mechanical totality of the rubrics. What do you mean by mechanical totality of rubrics is suppose patient ने आके बोला कि कि मुझे ना यहाँ पे दर्द हो रहा है, तो फट से कम्युनिकेटिव, पेशेंट मुस्कुरा गया तो फट से स्माइलिंग. सो आप 10 मिनट में 10 से 15 रूब्रिक्स बना के यू आर रेडी, right? Which I think sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't work. You have to understand the case in totality. Sometimes in an acute, or it depends upon case to case. Sometimes this 1, 2, 3, 4 selection of rubrics may work for you, and sometimes there is the feel to that case which works, and not that कि पेशेंट ने बोला कि यार मेरे साथ गलत हो गया तो रॉन्ग सफर्ड एंड मैं बहुत परेशान हो गया हूँ इस बीमारी से, तो परसिक्यूटेड. So the basic learning for today's session should be that it is not always a mechanical totality of rubrics and selection of a remedy, but sometimes you have to understand the case beyond the rubrics, because लाइन से कन्वर्ट करना और रूब्रिक बनाना एक आर्ट है, पर पेशेंट को समझना एक दूसरी बात है, राइट? सो सम केसेस यस, but some cases no. So if you understand this also today in this live session, it would be really great. So I'll give you an example of a case, and then probably I'll tell you the name of the drug and about that medicine, right? So this is a case of a child who was suffering from asthma, and she used to take treatment from me, and she was a mild, sweet looking girl, and I think I used to give her pulsatilla. She was partially responding and partially not responding, and she dropped out, right? And I thought that she's maybe fine, summers the, yeah, probably she was not better. So she didn't come for almost 8-9 months, and after 9 months when she came, I was like, oh hi, how are you? And the girl was, I am nice doctor, and she was like talking very nicely and all. So I asked, kahan the itne din se? So mother said, oh, we were not here, and she was also okay, but isko dobara ho raha hai. And ऐसे mother was trying to tell, and the little girl said, Mama, हम तो कब के आ गए थे, you were saying कि homeopathy was not helping, so let us take opinion of another doctor. So we went to that doctor, and the mother was so embarrassed to hear this from the child. She said, oh no, that though his father was saying कि we should take another opinion because she was better but not completely better. जो बच्चे ने मम्मी की पोल खोली एंड बड़ी इनोसेंटली वो बच्ची बोली, राइट, कि अरे आप तो बोल रहे थे कि उन डॉक्टर से पूरा आराम नहीं मिल रहा है, हम किसी और को दिखाते हैं, फिर आप मुझे वो जेएम रोड वाले डॉक्टर के पास लेके गए थे. एंड द मदर की जो हालत हुई, शी वाज सो एम्बैरेस्ड बिकॉज शी वाज ट्राइंग टू कवर अप व्हाई शी वाज नॉट देयर अंडर ट्रीटमेंट. आई सेड ओके, इट्स फाइन. एंड द रेमेडी आई प्रिस्क्राइब्ड टू द चाइल्ड वाज, come on everybody, I want you all to participate because it's all about learning. The remedy I prescribed was Bovista. Unreserved conversation. This is the key to Bovista. I'll explain Bovista in detail, but मैंने ये केस से क्यों शुरू किया? क्योंकि आग यहाँ सिर्फ लोकेसिटी नहीं है, खुलापन है, एक ओपन हार्टेडनेस है, एक नेम, मतलब बच्चे का भोलापन देखो कि उसने आराम से मम्मी की बात इतने इनोसेंटली बोल दे कि मामा आप तो बोल रही थी कि डॉक्टर के पास इतना अच्छा रिजल्ट नहीं है. सो लुक, 3 things which is very important to prescribe Bovista. Recently also one failure case where I was taking loquacity children in and prescribing lachesis, and then I prescribed phosphorus, and then I understood that this is not only loquacity children in, but this is ओपन हार्टेडनेस ऑफ दैट चाइल्ड. खुल के बोल देना, भोलेपन से सारी बात बोल देना, डॉक्टर के पास आके खुली बात करना, और बहुत ही भोला प्यारा बच्चा होता है. That is why we sometimes confuse with phosphorus and lachesis. Yeah, sometimes these drugs also, at least I get confused because हम mechanically select कर रहे होते हैं कि okay loquacity है, talkative है. But that innocence of a child is also very, very well marked. I'll give you one more example and then we can go to study Bovista in detail. I remember that time also it was a girl and she had come to the clinic for some other problem, right? I still can laugh, just imagining that incident. So she had come for some other problem, but she had some mild injury over here. So I was taking the case and I was writing down the symptom, and mother was telling various likes, dislikes, and no remedy was coming up, say thoroughly कि okay, this child is this. And I asked the child, क्या हुआ, गिर गई क्या? तो mama said, हाँ यार, bed पे बहुत घूमती है, and she had fallen down from bed. तो I said, okay, बोले बीच में सुलाते हैं फिर भी she falls down, पता नहीं इतना घूमती रहती है बेड पे, she's all over the place at night, she doesn't sleep straight. So I said, okay. And the girl was looking at mother and she said, नहीं, रात को ना मैं बीच में सोती हूँ, पापा इधर सोते हैं, मम्मा इधर सोती है, और फिर बीच में पापा मुझको साइड में कर देते हैं और फिर मम्मा पापा यहाँ. And very innocently the child said this and everybody started laughing, like me and her mother also. And I had prescribed her Bovista. Open-heartedness, that भोलापन, that naiveness of that child, जिसने बड़े आराम से वो incidents या एक एग्जाम्पल दे के बताया, इसलिए मैं गिर गई, और बहुत आराम से बच्ची बता रही थी. So such are the Bovista mostly I have prescribed in children. So such are the sweet and nice and naive and भोले, और आराम से कोई बात बता देना without any restrictions, without any manipulation कि ये डॉक्टर को बताना है या नहीं बताना है. मोस्टली पेरेंट्स थोड़े से एम्बैरेस हो जाते हैं कि यार बहुत ही बोलती है, इसके सामने ना हमें बड़ा सोच के बात करनी पड़ती है कि ये कहीं भी जाके कुछ भी बता देती है. मेड को बोल देगी कि मामा बोल रही थी कि आप ऐसे नहीं करते हो, तो वो भी बहुत, उसमें कोई चालाकी या मैनिपुलेटिवनेस या कपट ऐसा नहीं होता है. इट इज वेरी innocence kind of a loquacity, very open-hearted. The rubrics are loquacity, open-hearted and naive. So if you understand this open-heartedness and this bholapan of a Bovista child, probably you will be able to pick up Bovista. You will not be able to pick up Bovista from the way I said, because you will take loquacity children in and you will take such rubrics. But अगर आप इसको समझ जाएं जो मैंने अब ये 2-3 एग्जाम्पल्स आपको नरेट करे, तो you will understand Bovista very clearly. So Bovista basically is a fungus, and क्लार्क ने बताया कि इट इज़ यूज्ड इन इटली टू ईट ऑल्सो, एंड इट ग्रोज और फिर वो फट जाती है, और जब वो फटती है तो एक आवाज़ आती है. तो इससे डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ सिग्नेचर समझाया है डॉक्टर क्लार्क ने कि यूजुअली दीज पीपल हैव अ सोलन सेंसेशन कि बॉडी बहुत स्वेल हो गई है. सो डिल्यूजन सोलन, डिल्यूजन हेड इनलार्ज, बॉडी पार्ट्स आर इनलार्ज, उनको ऐसा लगता है पूरी शरीर फूल सा गया है. तो आपको बहुत सारी लेडीज आपको ऐसे मिलेंगी हु विल कंप्लेन कि फूला लग रहा है, देखिए मेरा सर कितना बड़ा हो गया है, पेट कैसे बड़ा बाहर आ गया है, एंड दे विल नॉट टॉलरेट एनीथिंग टाइट अराउंड देयर एब्डोमेन, लाइक वी हैव स्टडीड इन लैकेसिस दैट दे डोंट tolerate anything tight around their neck. Same way, a Bovista person will not tolerate anything around their waist, tight around their waist. And उसको enlarged parts of the body are कि भैया मेरा पेट देखो कैसे बाहर आ रहा है, मेरा हेड, मेरा चेहरा इतना बड़ा नहीं था, अभी कितना फूला हो गया है. ऐसे डिल्यूजन्स होते हैं. तो ऐसे वर्जन्स आपको पेशेंट में सुनेंगे, एंड यूजुअली दे आर वेरी ब्लोटेड. The way I told that this fungus burst open, in the same way they have a noisy flatus, So imagine a lady, round-faced, slightly obese, or a child who's slightly obese, chubby, who's very talkative, sweet, khul ke sab baatein banati. You have to, I always say, these two things play a very important role. A slight image of the remedy and understanding of the rubrics, they both are equally important. We should not get stuck to the images, and we should not get into the habit of always forming mechanical totalities, right? So in Bovista, I would tell you some some points here and there, so you can have a small image of this remedy ki kya kya hoga, Bovista bachcha ya adult आप कैसे अपने clinic पे you will be able to pick up these, right? So it is a very important remedy for asthma and urticaria and hives and nettle rash. So there are I always talk of qualified mentals. So there are if you see single rubrics of Bovista, you will see laughing asthma in, laughing मतलब दम लग रहा है बच्चा हंस रहा है, laughing spasmodic asthma in. There are a lot of mental qualified rubrics for urticaria, absent-minded urticaria in, sensitive urticaria in, awkwardness urticaria in, or aversion to everything, quarrelsome urticaria in. So a person who's suffering from urticaria is a sensitive, jhagda karne ko tayar, irritable, takes everything in bad part. So you can think of Bovista, right? Physicals में भी some urticaria के बहुत सारे rubrics हैं कि urticaria aggravated after bath or something. So we'll talk about mind basically because that is my forte. So these are the qualified mentals when there is a physical complaint or a physical symptom and a mental modality is attached to it, like quarrelsome urticaria in, or sensitive urticaria in, or laughing asthma in. Yeah, you know, so there is a mental rubric with a physical entity attached to it. I in all my live sessions and YouTube videos, you would have, or people who have attended my seminars and webinars, I give a lot of importance to these qualified mentals because usually they are, you know, they are very few remedies in such rubrics and they help you to understand or come to the remedy very, very easily. So make a habit to, you know, study these qualified mentals. Okay. So Bovista, in the end, we'll summarize. So we, you know, just note down these points. This is a remedy which can be used for sadness and depression or indifferent condition where a person has aversion to everything. He doesn't want to be in company. Both the states are present in Bovista, that they want company and they don't want company. But if you study all the rubrics, two things comes very peculiar to Bovista, that even they are sad or they are in a state of indifference or aversion to everything, they like company, you know. Once they are in company, they are better. So social meetings ameliorate. So what is a social meeting? For example, social gatherings ameliorate, cheerful company in, indifference everything to, yet company ameliorate. So such rubrics you will find in Bovista. So if they go to a marriage or a kitty party or a small get together, which is a social gathering, they feel nice, you know. They may say I was feeling very low and sad and depressed and not feel like doing anything, but you know, yesterday there was a get together at my friend's place and I really felt, you know, nice after going to that place. So we always sometime, you know, take it ki company during ameliorate, which has 40, 45, 50 drugs. So, you know, you can come to more specification of rubrics. You can, you know, narrow down your searches by taking the exact rubric. So, cheerful company in, social meeting ameliorates, company desire for, alone when aggravates. I hope this point is clear. Right? They have a very alternative states like we see in Procus also, anger alternating with exhilaration, anger alternating with cheerfulness, anger alternating with irritability, alternating with cheerfulness. So you can see those alternating states. One thing is very peculiar about their anger is there is a rubric, anger with work aversion to. मतलब जब गुस्सा आता है तो काम करने का मन नहीं करता है. We have other rubrics which I use very often with this anger, क्योंकि हम जब पेशेंट बोलता है कि गुस्सा आता है तो आप पूछते हो कि गुस्से में क्या करते हो या क्या करते. जब मेरे को गुस्सा आता है ना, you know, I just don't feel like doing anything, I just don't feel like working, you know, मेरा कुछ करने का मन नहीं करता. You think of Bovista. There is a rubric which says anger. Note down this rubric. I've used it, you know, so many times in my practice. Is anger with increased physical activity. There was a lady who used to say कि जब मुझे गुस्सा आता है ना तो मैं घर के काम करने लगती हूँ, मैं कपड़े फोल्ड करने लगूंगी, I would start putting utensils at place, I would clean my wardrobe, I would. So anger with great physical activity, the only drug over here is platinum. So see how common these versions are, but because we are not aware of these rubrics, we don't take, we may take something else कि occupation numerates because वो कपड़े तय कर रही है या सामान रख रही है, वो occupy हो गई है. So we come to the rubrics which are more common, which are more widely used, but we don't understand it is not only occupation, it is the need to do some physical activity. It may be running, it can be with increased physical activity, it can be some occupation in your घर के काम or office का work. So these qualifications of rubrics we need to do. We need to step further now beyond those broad spectrum rubrics and come to more particular rubrics and understand more drugs over there or more medicines, right? So, and there's one more rubric. I'm telling these cross references because they may help you to understand how we need to study and use these medicines also more oftenly. So with anger, we studied anger with increased physical activity of platina. We studied anger with work aversion 2 of. There are 2 remedies in it, phosphorus and dalkamara. And the third is anger work cannot. I have used this rubric so oftenly, and the drug is calcarea phos. कि जब work cannot, when they are not able to do work, they get angry, गुस्सा आता है उनको. तो anger work cannot is calcarea phos. अभी there is a different journey to calcarea phos कि determination gloomy होता है, वो नहीं कर पाते और उसी पे irritate हो रहे होते हैं. That we study when we study calcarea phos, right? So where were we? About anger, that they have alternative states, anger alternating with cheerfulness, and they don't want to work. Even with anxiety, they don't want to work. Anxiety with work aversion 2, anxiety inactivity with कि मतलब एंजाइटी में कुछ कर भी नहीं रहे और एंशियस भी हो रहे हैं. आई एम वेरी वरिड अबाउट माई टॉन्सिल्स बट आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग, राइट? सो देयर इज एन इनएक्टिविटी. नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग इन द सेंस मैं उस टॉन्सिल के लिए कुछ कर नहीं रही हूँ, मैं डॉक्टर को नहीं दिखा रही हूँ, मैं उसके लिए कोई केयर नहीं कर रही हूँ, बस एंशियस हो रही हूँ. सो दिस इज एंजाइटी इनएक्टिविटी विद, राइट? There is also one state of anxiety driving from one place to another. पहले मैं एक डॉक्टर को दिखाती हूँ, फिर दूसरे, फिर तीसरे. That is also covered by Bovista, right? And there is a fear of disease, fear of infection, fear of pins, fear of contagious disease. So you could have thought this drug in present COVID condition also, because there is a fear of epidemic disease and fear of infection. बट अगर ये पर्सन एपिडेमिक में आता तो जैसे एक कैल्केरिया डर के साथ आता है, या हायोसाइमस आएगा, या फॉस्फोरस आएगा, ये बोविस्टा अपना डर भी इतने आराम से हंसते हंसते ओपनली बताएगा. यू वुड, सो दैट वुड बी द पेक्युलरिटी ऑफ बोविस्टा, राइट? कि कैल्केरिया कैसे बताएगा, कैल्केरिया को कैसे एंजाइटी आएगी. सो दैट डिफरेंशिएशन वी शुड ऑल लर्न टू हैव. अगर एपिडेमिक में भी बोविस्टा को डर है और फियर ऑफ इन्फेक्शन है तो बड़े हंसते हंसते, अरे यार मेरी तो बड़ी फट जाती है, आई एम सो स्केर्ड ऑफ अबाउट इट. पता है मैं तो अमेजोन के पार्सल भी आते हैं ना तो मैं उसको फुसफुस करके सैनिटाइज कर रही होती हूँ, और बड़े आराम से अपनी बेवकूफ़ियाँ या अपनी ये हरकतें बता रहा होगा. सो that is the classic of how will you differentiate that fear of infectious disease, or how would a calcarea will say, or how would a phosphorus say, or how will an agaricus feel in these fear. So that loquacity open-hearted would be marked there also. So that is the entry point for Bovista, right? So there are if you see Bovista, there's a lot of awkwardness. चीज़ें जैसे हमने सोलन बताया, they have said कि कोई भी नाइफ है या सिजर है उनके मार्क्स पड़ जाते हैं बॉडी पे, इतने सोलन और ब्लोटेड रहते हैं, गैस नॉइज के साथ पास होती है, लोकेसिटी ओपन हार्टेड, सब कुछ नहीं भोलेपन से बता देते हैं, ट्रुथ टेलिंग प्लेन, मतलब एकदम प्लेनली अपनी बात रख देते हैं जिसमें कोई मैनिपुलेशन नहीं है. फिर उसके बाद company they like. There is if you study Bovista, I was surprised there is only one ailments from, which is ailments from sexual excesses. But when I studied, there were not a lot of, sexual rubrics in Bovista. So why sexual excesses? So I saw Dr. Narendra Gupta ka one video where he had explained sexual excesses on YouTube, and he has very beautifully explained that ki excesses is injustice sexually which is happening to you. आपको लड़की होने की वजह से आपको कुछ ऐसा बोला जा रहा है कि ये काम तो लड़कियां नहीं कर सकती हैं. तो जो इनजस्टिस आपके साथ आपके सेक्स को लेके, बिकॉज यू आर अ वुमेन, बिकॉज यू आर अ फीमेल, बिकॉज यू आर अ गर्ल चाइल्ड, वो हो रही है, वहां पे इसको एलिमेंट फ्रॉम सेक्सुअल एक्सेसेस बोला है, राइट? सो दैट वे, सो देयर इज ओनली वन एलिमेंट फ्रॉम इन बोविस्टा. It is also used for alcoholism. So you will see a lot of rubrics related to alcoholism aggravates, ailments from after drinking wine, wine aggravates, confusion of mind, wine after, dullness, spirituous liquors after. So that can be one. पर वहाँ पे भी आपको ये नेवनेस, अरे यार कल तो सादा हो गई थी, मैं तो गिरी पड़ा, और हंस के बता रहा है, और उसके बाद मेरे को बड़ा डर लग रहा है. सो ऑल दिस कैन बी, बट हर जगह आपको उसका नेवनेस, ट्रुथ टेलिंग प्लेन एंड भोलापन आपको दिखेगा उस बोविस्टा का. सो दैट वुड बी योर एंट्री पॉइंट, एंड दीज आर वेरियस स्टेट्स इन विच यू कैन गिव Bovista, right? So mentally I have studied, various authors have written that eating after ameliorate, after eating breakfast they feel better. So you have to study ailments from what is their mental state, how will they communicate, and what makes them better and what aggravates them. So if you study lot of question rubrics like question after aggravates, question aggravates, confusion of mind, question after, dullness, question after. So what is question? We have discussed this earlier also. Question can be a physical act or anything in which we get too involved, जैसे हम किसी भी काम में बहुत मग्न हो जाएं, कोई पेंटिंग में, कोई पढ़ाई में, कोई आर्टिकल में, तो वो भी एक एक्ट ऑफ इन्वॉल्वमेंट है. सो इन बोविस्टा दे हैव सेन दे आर स्लाइटली इम्बिसाइल, उनमें एक सेंस ऑफ जजमेंट नहीं होता है लाइक बराइटा, इसीलिए वो खुल के अपनी बात कह रहे हैं विद दैट भोलापन. And so whenever there is this kind of involvement which requires a lot of energy, it exhausts them and it aggravates. I hope you understand. This is practically not very usable rubric, but I thought I'll tell you, maybe we see cases like that in our future practice. All right, so yeah, this is Bovista. It's a very simple, very small drug with almost like 282 symptoms in our repertory. It's not a very vast drug, but there are cases where we get stuck, we get prejudiced about this is baraita or this is phosphorus, and कितना खुल के बात कर रहा है, affectionate है, चलो फॉस्फोरस दे देते हैं या लैक्सिस दे देते हैं. वी मिस बोविस्टा चिल्ड्रन इन आवर क्लिनिक. तो आगे से आपके पास कोई भी बच्चा जो बड़े आराम से इज टेलिंग हिज थिंग्स, या घर की पोल खोल रहा हो, या बड़े आराम से ट्रुथ टेलिंग प्लेन बोल रहा हो और बहुत खुल के बात कर रहा हो, खुल के बात करना इन प्लेन लैंग्वेज, यू शुड थिंक ऑफ बोविस्टा. So yes, this is a very small drug. I'm trying to study drugs which we are not using it very often and we miss in our clinic, and how we can use them in our clinical practice, and what are the rubrics related to it. So there are many physical characteristic rubrics in Bovista also, like quarrelsome during menses, menses flow only at night. So you can take these. We should not negate anything कि मैं तो physical पढ़ूंगी ही नहीं. We should know all these rubrics. Sometimes these rubrics also help us to get into an entry point into a case, and we should study mind also. My experience is that if the entry point is through the mind, you get better results. If it is qualified mentals, even better. If you get the exact mental state, the results are amazing. And sometimes the characteristic physical symptom with the mental modality really works. So what happens mostly is when we see a case, all these 20-40 remedies start playing कि बच्चा ने आके बड़बड़ बोल रहा है, तो आपको लोकेसिटी की 5-6 दवाइयाँ लैटिसेस एंड वो सारी हायोसाइमस आपके दिमाग में घूमने लगती हैं, बिकॉज वी हैव ट्रेन्ड आवरसेल्व्स, वी हैव प्रेजुडिस्ड आवरसेल्व्स to select those common rubrics, and we are not seeing the things beyond. So I will, request you all that yes, do that, because that is more common and you should be aware about it. But don't get fixed to those emojis or fixed to those 40-50 set of rubrics and not able to see pictures beyond it. So this is just a small attempt to make you aware that homeopathy is vast and there's so much more to learn. I am learning each day. When I see cases of my colleagues, every day I learn a new rubric or, fight with my own prejudices. Sometimes there is a situation, and रिसेंटली ही हुआ कि एक सिचुएशन को जिसको मैं हमेशा जस्टिंग अवर्जन टू लेती हूँ, किसी और ने अलग रूब्रिक लिया, एंड देन यू नो instead of fighting that why this rubric, and we've been always taking understand what is the physician's state of mind and why he or she took a particular rubric. And probably you can see that there are no fixed versions and rubric. Each version can go with 3 or 4 rubrics, because it is also the way the patient said, how the patient said, and the intention behind what patient said. Right? So let's be a little more unprejudiced and not get ourselves stuck to images and see the pictures beyond it, right? And I am very happy today because we have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. After every video I used to feel, oh yaar, main to bhul hi gayi bolna ki you subscribe and share, and because I am too engrossed in telling about the drug that I always forget it. But now I feel it is important because I wanted to reach to more people and more students, basically, because they should know a problem kahan pe aaya when after college you don't know कि किस रास्ते पे जाना है. आप 10 रेमेडीज मिक्स करके दें या पर्टिकुलर्स पे कॉम्बिनेशंस दें या फिर स्पेसिफिक्स दें, then you feel lost, that is the time I feel that the students these videos of all the doctors who are trying to teach, not only me but all the doctors who are trying to teach the actual homeopathy, the core of homeopathy, and who the main intention is that we create better homeopaths tomorrow. I have always said that I have become a homeopathic doctor by choice, and it has not happened because I didn't got the admission in MBBS. I always wanted to be an homeopath. I belong to a family of homeopathic doctors, and I strongly believe in the system. My daughter has not even taken a nasal spray, touch wood, because I feel that homeopathy is much, much more than what we are able to do. We have to go a long way to break those prejudices of people that it is short acting and it doesn't give result and it has steroids and all that. So if we all work together, we can probably reach that aim faster. And because tomorrow is a Women's Day, I would also, as I've always said, that my true intention is, we eradicate this over-drugging from India at least, because I see a lot of people, sardi hui, 2 छींके मारी, Synarus दे दी, हल्का सा बुखार आया, क्रूसन दे दी, तो हम अपने बच्चों को बहुत बहुत दवाइयाँ दे रहे हैं. I really feel that we should not over-drug our younger generation today. And second is, I really want each of you female homeopaths to start, you start the practice, have the courage to stand up, and it's not the amount of money you earn. You can start from a polyclinic, or you can start from a shared clinic where you will have a small rental. I understand there are difficult paths, but I really, really want you all to start practice, because females can understand emotions better, and I feel that you can be a great homeopath. And the journey is tough, I know, but this is the thing that I really want, and I have been talking about it. It is not that because tomorrow Women's Day hai, so I will talk about it. But I feel that I always, when I was very good in debates and elocution, and I used to say that if you educate a man, you educate a man, but if you educate a woman, you educate a generation, But now I feel that it's not only education, it's giving that opportunity to work also. आप अपने education का अचार डालोगे क्या यार, मतलब आप कितने भी educated हो, if you are not able to put that to use, what is the point? If you have taken a seat, you have slogged your 5.5 years to be what you are, right? So respect that, and even respect your parents who worked hard for your education to give your fees. Agar aaj as a mother I take, I have not been taking any webinars, and I will not take for another 1 month because she's in only 7, but I take a little bit of pain to see whether she's, So we as mothers take a lot of effort for our children, even daughters, to that they are educated, they study well. So imagine all those sleepless nights that your parents had to wake you up on time, to make you study, and I feel it's your moral duty to give it back. I don't know whether I have told this example or not. I think I have told you earlier also, there was a lady who was a software engineer, and there were a lot of difficulties when she had a child, that who will look after the child. And when I asked her, her husband was like, leave the job, and she said, my father was an auto rickshaw driver, and if not for myself, I have to do this for him. And it's 10 years back, this incident has been narrated to me, and it's still so close to my heart. I imagine my father's belief in me, and the way he never spoke. My father speaks very less, but he neither appreciates me that you're doing good, and he has never done. But I feel that that unsaid thing, how our parents are proud of what we do. So take those baby steps, start your clinic. If not clinic, I will not say that start doing it from home, because it looks very unprofessional. People coming to your home and telling their mind, and your children roaming around. Take a small clinic, take a small place. Don't do these lavish weddings, don't buy these extravagant clothes. Cut down your expenses and start your clinic. Working from home will never take you where you want to. You deserve this. I know I waste a lot of time telling all this, but earlier, few years back, some of my friends were not working, and I used to feel that working is a choice. Housewife is also fine. But now I feel, and I very strongly feel, it's not a choice. It's your life. You don't know, you cannot depend on your husband. You cannot depend on your in-laws. It's your duty, it's your moral duty to earn for yourself, for your child, for your family. Like taking care of the house is not a choice for men. In the same way, working or not working should not be a choice. It should be, and your children will look up to you. Your children will see you and imbibe from you. So if you give value to the education, probably they will give value to their education, right? So no matter how less or more you earn, no matter how big or small your clinic is, every female, homeopath or not a homeopath, they have to earn for themselves. They have to stand up for themselves. Recently, I had a patient, her husband had a heart attack and she's not earning. I see the amount of confusion. She has 2 sons, not a lot of money. They have to shift from Pune. Amount of, havoc that death has created in her life. Why? If she would have been earning emotionally, yes, but financially it should not. I should be equal. If not equal, I should contribute to the family. So, I request you all, if you're a male, support your wife, support your daughter. If you're a female, if you don't get support, stand up for yourself. Stand up. You deserve much more. Ho jata hai ghar ka. We all do it. And you don't neglect your children by working. So, yeah. So I hope you understand Bovista, and I hope you. I get so many messages that, after listening to me, they've started working, and I feel really overwhelmed, and I feel so happy that you started working and you started studying, because no amount of YouTube lectures and webinars, if you don't study, you will not be able to give result. So I hope you all study and attend good webinars, and everybody who is trying, not only me, everybody who is trying to, promote homeopathy and teach actual homeopathy, you should listen to them. And yeah, so thank you for those 5,000 subscribers, and I hope you all keep seeing and keep learning. And those who want to attend can contact me. Our webinars, we'll be having it now after 8th of April because exam time, as I said. And thank you so much.